Also, 60-year-old gay ex-Mormon. Like, Adam is literally who I want to be when I am an old man. And you know what his response was? What the fuck?
I don't know what to say to that shit.
Like, I don't get it.
You don't. I don't either, but...
It's like, Josh, what the fuck? You chase everything with a penis. The only woman I've ever seen you hit on is Gracie. Who is, in addition to being a literal prostitute, also, I'm pretty sure, better endowed than both of us. And that's after the hormones.
What a crazy world.
Right?
Right.
Like, this dude was seriously the biggest dick I've ever seen. The single biggest dick I have ever seen. Like, oh my god, horses get jealous of this guy. Because holy shit, this man is hung. Confirmed power bottom. Will not penetrate anything with his penis. And I'm just like, why?
Really?
It's such a fucking waste. Donkeys are jealous of you, man. Like, seriously, I'm good. I cannot take any of that shit. It will. And it's like, god damn, dude. What a waste of a natural gift.
So, what'd you think about the last books I gave you?
I actually haven't read them. I keep meaning to.
No, the Avengers Academy.
Oh, them.
We're recording.
Oh, okay. It would have been nice if you told me that, you prick.
I didn't want to tell you. I need to give you some homework on some podcasts to listen to. But yeah, no. What did you think about the last Avengers Academy books?
They were all right. I don't know. You want to know the honest truth? They felt an awful hell of a lot. They felt an awful hell of a lot like early X-Men.
I'm glad you said that.
Like they were trying to catch the lightning in a bottle that was the early X-Men.
Okay, because this is definitely what I felt when I was reading Avengers Academy for the first time. Is that I love the characters and I love what they're trying to do, and I love seeing the aftermath of Dark Reign and Norman Osborn's crazy shit.
That was nice too.
With Reptile. But yeah, no, I feel like they're trying to grasp that pre-Chris Claremont X-Men feel. That thing that we loved before Chris Claremont made us love Chris Claremont's X-Men.
Ha! Love. Right, that's definitely what I feel towards Chris Claremont's X-Men.
That's what you feel towards Chris Claremont's X-Men. I'd give Chris Claremont a hand job, and I'm like...
Well, okay, I'm not saying I wouldn't still blow him, but as we've established, that's kind of what I do.
You blow people. I'd give him a hand job. That's saying a lot.
It is, yes. Where did I put those coals?
I don't know what you put with your hookah coals, but... I mean...
Big silver roll.
But...
Slightly smaller than my dick. Oh, here we go.
But, like, every good, like, small team Marvel does, they get preempted by some fucking relaunch, reboot,
or even
something.
Just a big line-wide event.
Honestly, line-wide events with Marvel has been killing me. Because since Civil War, it's been hard to just fuck with Marvel. Because as soon as Civil War's over, we had Dark Reign. As soon as Dark Reign's over, we had Heroic Age and Fall of Asgard.
Here's the thing, though. Fall of Asgard, then Heroic Age, but
yeah.
While on the one hand, that does make it feel more like a world, because you're actually seeing the aftermath of this shit. Like, the entire point of Civil War is that nobody trusted Tony Stark anymore because they shouldn't have.
But there's one calamity, one crisis, one argument and conflict of interest after another, and there's not enough time to breathe as a reader.
Right. And to be fair, that is kind of how they do it with their characters, too. Like, half the reason the original X-Men are a bunch of dysfunctional fuck-ups is because they have such severe PTSD because they literally never got a moment to breathe.
But the original X-Men were human. They were mutant, but they were human. They were real and they were relatable.
Early Avengers, the reason why they have... Well, in our Avengers, the reason they have so much turnover is because being an Avenger, you basically never have a moment to stop. You never have a moment when you can just be the Wasp. When you just be... Or better yet, when you can stop being the Wasp and start being Janet Van Dyne.
While you make sense with that argument as a logical standpoint.
But here's the thing.
But the Avengers was used as a platform to launch and promote new characters. Lesser known characters. It was never meant to be a team of A-listers. It was always to be meant...
The B-listers at best.
B-listers
at B-listers, I'd call people like Thor, Iron Man...
And Iron Man has been a B-lister until his movie in 2008.
Right, because until Robert Downey Jr., there was nobody who actually gave Tony Stark a personality.
I mean, Demon in a Bottle.
Yeah, but even then, that's literally just... I mean, you could replace Tony Stark with literally any leader-type character from the Marvel Universe in that story, and it would play out largely the same. Shit, you could use Doctor Doom... dealing with some demon he'd made a deal with in the place of the armor.
Not wrong.
You know? I mean, that's literally the problem with Iron Man and why until he got Robert Downey Jr. playing him in the movie, nobody gave a shit about Iron Man as in his solo book.
I mean, there were... You know what? I think in my long history of reading Marvel Comics... I don't think I've ever read a solo Iron Man book that wasn't trade or a graphic.
You shouldn't. They're fucking awful. They're boring. It's literally my problem with steampunk, except instead of it being steam, it's electricity. Lord Von White Guy and his amazing steam-powered plot contrivance.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything outside of Ultimate Iron Man.
Well, and Ultimate Iron Man was fun because again they went with Robert Downey Jr. from the start.
Well, I mean, Ultimate Iron Man was like... It was weird and fucked up, and it was its own new thing. It was different.
And that's why when they killed it to make Secret Wars, I was just like, oh my fucking god! No, please don't take the good Marvel Universe away from me.
I mean, grow a sack.
Fuck off.
I mean...
Ultimate Marvel was also my first real serious foray into comics.
I mean, Ultimate Marvel was a great jumping on point for people because it was a fresh reboot, new take on everything.
And they had to actually establish who these characters were without necessarily just making it. Yeah, so go read these issues of another comic book that is also out of print, in order to find out who these people are.
That was a big problem for a lot of people because Marvel launched in like 2001, right before 9/11. But Ultimate Marvel lost, and it was meant to be, that new jumping on point for people.
The other thing, too, is the funny thing is, this whole jumping on point thing had already been solved by fucking DC. Like, the original Crisis on Infinite Earths was meant to be a reboot point for the DC universe, so that people who hadn't been following along since the fucking 40s could actually get in on this without having to resort to Silver and Bronze Age goofiness that doesn't fucking matter.
But this is what I will say about Crisis Age, because Crisis Age, it added more confusion and convoluted bullshit. While it was a great reboot, it displaced Supergirl. Shit like that happened, where we had a displaced Supergirl for 15 years in real life, where we're like, what the fuck do we do with this character? And we had more than just Supergirl. But at the same time, Infinite Crisis folded in Milestone Comics. And what was the other publication that
not Infinite Crisis.
Not Infinite Crisis, no.
Infinite Crisis did fold in Milestone.
It folded in Milestone, but...
But the earlier one, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah. It's dope.
There's a reason why even today it is held up as a milestone in comics, because it is the first time that all of them had said, okay, all that shit that went before, you can read it, it'll give you some idea about who these people are at a basic level.
Which was dope.
Right, it's still there. You know, Superman is still Superman, but we're starting over from zero, and we're starting over from zero, so here's where you can jump on, and you don't have to read 60 years of backlog comics, including some fucking goofy shit.
Which...
Batman versus the plant people.
I mean...
Why is Batman fighting aliens?
Okay, so you mentioned Grant Morrison earlier and shit. One of the greatest Grant Morrison stories is Swamp Thing. But when Swamp Thing goes to fucking Gotham... and it's Batman versus Swamp Thing, and Batman brings logic into the battle and is not trying to fight with brute force. That is one of the great all-time Grant Morrison comic book moments.
Here's the thing. For all of my issues with Grant Morrison as a writer,
dopest writer ever, in my opinion, when it comes to comic books.
Oh, go read The Invisibles and then tell me that. And bear in mind, I like The Invisibles. I think it is the 90s. This thing is shit.
But it came out in the 2000s.
I know it came out in the 2000s. It finished in the 2000s.
I'm mildly drunk at this point.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there were 3 volumes of it, and the 3rd volume is honestly the most coherent story-wise. But here's the thing. You can also map it entirely to Joseph Campbell. Like, The Invisibles is Joseph Campbell's hero's journey as written by Grant Morrison. Think about it. Volume 1, the call to action and the rejection of the same. Volume 2, the acceptance of the same and the fight. Volume 3, the resolution and the falling action.
Which is a recycled process of every fucking thing.
But that's what I mean when I say that Grant Morrison should show me something new.
I think you need to read more Grant Morrison.
At this point, I think it'd be hard to find a part of his bibliography I haven't read.
I think you need to read more Grant Morrison, and I need to give you some homework and listen to some podcasts with Grant Morrison. Especially when he's interviewed by Kevin Smith. Because some really deep, philosophical, religious, psychedelic shit is said.
I am aware of his mystical inclinations.
He believes in a Cthulhu-like monster.
I am aware of his mystical inclinations. That is one of the reasons he does not impress me. I'm sure he's very impressive to someone who isn't tapped into all that shit already, but you study a little bit and you find out, yeah, Grant Morrison's pretty much full of hot air.
I think Grant Morrison is probably the most ridiculous, psychedelic, trippy,
he writes comics like he wishes he was China Mieville.
I feel like you should read some of his some of his novel work.
I have tried to.
You should read some. You should read.
Is literally China Mieville.
Read more of his non-comic book work.
I have read some of his non-comic book work.
And you might just kill yourself as a writer. Like, not literally kill yourself.
Oh, and that reminds me, I mentioned earlier, I rediscovered the existence of someone who fucking disgusts me as a writer.
Okay. Shoot.
Piers Anthony.
I'm not going to argue anything.
Well, and here's why he disgusts me as a writer. he has some cool ideas at the core of it.
But he has no follow-through?
It's not that.
He has no execution,
yes,
no
he has
planning,
no fucking execution.
no fucking thought. Okay, I'm with
no,
you.
The thought, even the thought, like, okay, here's an example. His Xanth series, arguably his longest running series. Probably one of the longest running series in Western fantasy. 32 books or something like that, or some ridiculous shit like that.
But boring.
Well, not just boring, I mean, that's forgivable. Tolkien's boring.
Tolkien is...
Have you read
Tolkien is boring. Tolkien can be dry at points. I would not argue that Tolkien can be long-winded.
The guy was a fucking academic, not a novelist. And he writes like a goddamn academic. And that's fine. I don't mind that. I mean, I'm the guy who reads history books for fun, so a certain amount of dryness is okay. You know, not everything needs to be moist and delicious. But
Continue.
Continuing. Continuing. But here's the thing: his Xanth series, a setting in which everyone has a unique magical talent, and the plots largely revolve around trying to figure out how to leverage that talent in such a way as to accomplish their goals when those talents are not directly applicable to it.
I have no argument here.
Like, tell me that a writer who was less interested in fucking teenage girls could not do something interesting with that.
I have no argument.
Like, imagine early...
I can't argue this because...
Like, imagine early Terry Pratchett taking on that same concept. I would literally give my testicles to read that.
I think you're going a little too far with giving testicles. But... I realize I'm really drunk right now.
Well, we both are. That's kind of, you know, I mean...
But...
Yeah, fair warning to our reader, to our under 21 readers, do not get this drunk. To our over 21 listeners, get this drunk. Get this drunk often.
But...
I like how you hold this shit in, too.
I don't know. Dumb bitches. Then again, I gotta be honest, and I haven't read a fucking book without pictures in like a year.
Really?
Plus.
Wow.
I've read articles and research studies from the U and shit because I have to read that shit to continue to be smart, or at least appear smart. Because, like, at this point, I've been out of school for 6 years.
To be honest, I read history books because I find history fascinating.
I used to read med journals because I was bored and fascinating. And I still read every fucking med journal out of the U. But as far as, like, shit outside of comics, I don't really read much. And it's like, I've really been enjoying the newest DC quote-unquote reboot with Superman because they've got Golden Age Superman and the New 52 world with a son. And there's, like, ridiculous shit going on, but...
You need to read Invincible.
I mean, Invincible is just... It gives us another Superman ripoff character.
Yeah, but it actually makes him fun.
I mean... But we've got a fun Golden Age, Silver Age Superman who is lighthearted, who is smart.
Who's a fucking asshole?
Who's not an asshole. Who's borderline tiptoeing
I have
Mary Sue.
Superman on my hard drive. I can show you.
We've got a little bit of like...
Superman in the Golden Age was a fucking dick.
They gave him the animated series personalities where he's everyone's best friend. He's the DCAU fucking Superman with Golden Age. Like, he's Golden Age with ACU's personality where he's the good guy that you like and he's not overpowered.
So he's old school Captain America then?
Basically.
I mean, he's everybody's best friend. Everybody loves this guy.
No one has a problem with him And he's not using his full potential because he just wants to be a normal fucking dude. We've got the Superman, like, perfectly written right now. And
I'll have to check this out.
I love what they're doing with Superman right now, especially the fact that he has a son with Lois Lane, who is buddies with Damian Wayne.
I refer you to the essay by Larry Niven on Kryptonian human reproduction risks. I also refer you to the movie Hancock, specifically the scene where he brings that chick home from the bar.
Honestly, I'm surprised, like, one solar flare, to quote fucking Dogma, one solar flare, and that kid kicks through her uterus and kills her. But whatever.
I'm just thinking like Kryptonian, like even before that, Kryptonian ejaculation should have left her like a fucking Swiss cheese.
I mean,
do you know how hard that shit shoots?
Whatever. Maybe Superman can control his ejaculation.
As someone who's taken more than a few shots to the face, I can tell you that shit comes fast.
Well, you've been taking shots from sharpshooters. I'm sorry.
I've been taking. Okay, seriously. My last boyfriend was. Well, I don't want to be too rude in front of the public, but let's just say that endowment was not his special thing.
But he was a sharpshooter. I don't know. I got many blowjobs in high school at Block E Theater.
In buckets.
Or in hand jobs and shit, and I've shot like arcing ropes of jizz in Block E Theater. Rest in peace, Block E Theater, because I can't think of a fucking theater in that bitch that didn't have my semen somewhere in it.
Yeah, that'd be me in Rochester.
But I would shoot. But usually when I get like a blowjob or a hand job, it's dribble.
Really?
These days, like, I used to shoot when I was younger in high school because you're fucking, you're horny and, like, you're not actually getting anything.
Teenager, right. Well, that's just it. Like, I talked to one of my exes recently, and it was one of my very few female exes. What can I say? Guys are easy.
I mean, yeah.
Guys are easier. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean,
well, and here's the thing. And she's like, the one thing I actually miss the most about sex with you is just how fucking much. And I'm just like, well, that's almost that's flattering, I guess. I mean, it's also flattering as the ex of mine who apparently compared me favorably to a horse, and I'm just like, okay, you need those glasses fixed because I do not compare.
So Andrew's about to get robbed. Continue. But yeah, no, I don't know. When it comes to like shit like that, I don't know. I don't really know.
Because on the one hand, it's flattering that I'm being compared favorably to a horse, but I promise you, I am not that well endowed.
See, I'm just thinking about Block E right now. It's like, in a way, I never really thought about it, but I kinda, not saying the girls I quote-unquote went on dates on within high school and shit were prostitutes, but it was kind of a form of prostitution because I go on a date with a girl, we see a movie, we go, like, maybe to Applebee's before the movie and shit. But I came almost every fucking time, but I'm spending money on this bitch. That's kind of prostitution, in a sense.
Well, not to go all MRA on this shit. For the record, I'm really, really, really just find the whole men's rights activist thing to be hilarious. For one thing, up until fairly recently, that was how women got ahead in society. Trade reproductive access for access to resources.
It's like, I can't think of a single girl I went on a date with junior or sophomore year of high school Well, I didn't come at the end, like, before the end of the movie. Because I was seeing movies, like, every fucking week. Every other week, if not.
Yeah, see, I managed to get
with a new girl.
See, I managed to get it for free. And the benefit of getting to do that with the same girl, she gets really fucking good.
See, I was selling drugs and had an allowance. So I was just like, whatever.
Yeah,
it was coming every fucking...
I just had the allowance, but like I said, I managed to get that shit for free. Mind you, what I'm attracted to in women is not necessarily physical appearance.
See, it's like, I was a fat kid and a nerd.
So was I. I mean, this was after I hit puberty, so I'd pretty much pudged up at this point. But I was big, I was strong, I was angry at everything, and I was not afraid to stand up and tell people they were full of shit. Like the time that the science teacher went on a racist tirade insisting, no, seriously, this happened, that black people were genetically inferior because they never ever earned an A in his class. Incidentally, first time having sex with a black woman was a couple days thereafter.
Alright, well...
Mostly because I stood up and was like, okay, seriously, you are full of shit. Black people don't get A's in your class because you don't give them A's in your class, you dumb shit. This chick and I did basically exactly the same experiment for your fucking class. I got an A, she got a D. We used the same methodology, we even compared notes, and we admitted this, and you still gave me an A, and you gave her a D, you racist fuckwit.
Well, one, your teacher was racist, and two...
No shit. My teacher was racist.
Two, I think girls, regardless of race and ethnicity, are better at math and sciences than men. But I'm about to get real, like, sexist when I say it, because I feel like they've been genetically, like, not genetically, but...
Well, here's something I've noticed about girls. They are more vicious than guys, and here's my theory on that.
Yes, they are.
Way more vicious. Here's the thing. Guys, we've been bred for gentleness. We've been bred for we've been selectively bred.
Well...
Because here's the thing.
They've actively bred out our masculine, aggressive, hunter-gatherer genes have been being bred out of us because we are a generation of men who have been raised by women for the most part. Most of us have been raised by single mothers at this point in time.
I was raised by a single dad.
You might be the exception because you're a crazy fucking Mormon. I mean, I love you as a person, but you're a crazy fucking Mormon. Let's be honest.
I was, yes. I decided I like dick more than Jesus, but, you know.
Which is okay.
Sure. But what I'm getting at here is that, okay, but it's not just recent generations, okay? It's not just recent generations. For generations, men fight for dominance, okay?
Yes, we do.
You know, I fight to prove that I am the dominant male. Women have not had that opportunity. Women fight, when women go to war, it's because they want the other woman's bloodlines, they want the other woman's genetic lines wiped the fuck out.
Truth. I mean, women are more vicious.
Well, it's not just humans. Like, look at animals. I took care of a couple of Malamutes for like 4 years. And the male would stop once his opponent surrendered. Once when he was establishing his dominance over other dogs, he would stop once he'd established that he was the big guy and this was his territory. The female would not. You roll over and show your belly. You know, the dog rolls over, shows their belly in the throat. She'd go for the kill. And the only reason humans don't do that is because we recognize that occasionally our opponents might have skills or abilities we will find useful later for preserving our own genetic hegemony.
You make us sound like Mega Man.
Well, because the really disturbing part of it all is that there is a certain rationale to it. And I'm reminded of something that that another friend of mine said recently.
Okay, continue. Like,
He's a black dude.
Okay.
You do have black friends who aren't you or Deshaun.
I mean, I assume you have more friends outside of me and Sean, point blank, period. But, yeah, continue with your other black friend story.
And he pointed out that if I had any sense of self-preservation at all, I'd join the alt-right.
Oh, hell no. This is the motherfucker's problem.
Well, because he basically points out that in a world where everyone is actually equal, I would have no chance. I would be eliminated fairly shortly and fairly sharply.
I think in a world where everyone is equal, I think you stay around for a sex slave at least.
Well, I do suck a mean dick. Well, but here's the thing. We can't really imagine what I would be like in a world like that, because even if tomorrow equality were achieved, even if tomorrow, right, you and I achieve true societal equality, we still come from a world where that wasn't the case. Yes, I might have a harder time of it than I have hitherto, but the fact is, I like to think I'm a fairly decent person.
I think,
Like
honestly, I think your status quo society does not change much. Because while you are Caucasian, you are a liberal, nice, good, honest person.
Well, and that's what I mean.
And you personally have not done anything to oppress any racial group. Any minority social class group.
I even consciously try
to overcorrect at times.
That's fair, but here's the thing with that overcorrection is because I am conscious of the fact that despite
your
the
race
rhetoric,
has done horrible things over thousands of years.
Yes, and I want to try and bring everyone up to enjoy the level of privilege that I enjoy.
And you know what? We understand that you are not them. You are not the majority.
I am not the other.
You are the minority.
And more to the point, I am not the hostile other. I am not your enemy. We are all us.
Yes. And you know what? We are not mad at you. At least I'm not mad at you.
I get that. Well, that's why after the shit you said like a few months ago at this point,
I'm a troll.
Friends, well, and more to the point, it's just I can't entirely say you're wrong. But even more than that, it's like I said, we are not enemies.
We are not. But I am a troll.
And you don't always think through what you're saying before you say it. I mean, I'm sorry, but the world would be better if you and everyone you loved had never existed.
I think you misread me. But, yeah. Water under the bridge.
No, I'm just bringing it up now because, again, it's one of the reasons why I think I'm a decent person, despite the fact that, I do enjoy societal privilege that other people do not. I also try to act in such a way as to mitigate that. And it's not like white guilt or shit like that. It's just consciousness of the fact that, again, because of circumstances beyond my control, I have had advantages others have not. So I must ensure that others get to enjoy as much of those same advantages as I can provide.
White Guilt is going to be the name of my post-punk album. That is so going to be the name of my post-punk album.
Can I offer a suggestion on a subtitle? Is why you bought this. And on that note, can I comment on something else?
Go right ahead.
Punk.
Yeah?
And hip-hop.
Yeah?
They both express broadly similar sentiments.
Yeah, that's why I'm a hip-hop punk and have been since, like, 99.
Punk is an overwhelmingly white musical genre.
I grew up in the suburbs. What can I say?
Dude, given how many white people get shit, given how much I enjoy good hip-hop, I really can't criticize you for turning around and saying, yeah, you know what, this white music's actually pretty good.
Well, I grew up in the suburbs, but that's just it. It's like, growing up, my mom listened to every fucking thing.
But that's just it, though, is the thing. What people react to in music as much is the message.
But
like, proclaim your music apolitical as much as you like. I'm sorry, but I don't buy it. You don't become an artist if you have nothing to say.
But as far as hip-hop and punk goes in the 90s and 80s, they were very much both anti-establishment, very anti-empower, who's in charge, who's pulling the fucking strings. Fuck the man, and most of the time that man was a white man.
Yes, but here's the thing.
They're inherently the same fucking thing.
Punk was basically poor white people were like, hey, guess what? We're being fucked by this as much as anyone else.
I mean, punk is all about fuck the establishment.
Yeah.
And early hip-hop is all about fuck the establishment.
But that's why they're so much alike, is because, you know, that's the thing, is that, you know, these rich white motherfuckers, they think of me in broadly the same terms they think of you.
Yeah, of course.
They deny both of us our essential humanity. And the fact is that you're as human as I am. I'm as human as you are.
Yeah, it's funny though.
I mean, it's like one of the reasons I never really got into the Mormonism thing, because one of the things they really hammer on when you're older and reproduction starts becoming a thing is the whole miscegenation issue. Or their perception of it. Frankly, it's one of the reasons why in, like, sci-fi shit that I write, miscegenation isn't a thing. You know? Except as possibly something the antagonists embrace. Human purity, my fluffy feathered ass. You know, it's like the idea of human ethnic groups interbreeding, not a thing. Also, I caught a huge storm wind recently in one of my stories. I revealed that one of the characters, who was a member of a race that was basically created from humans, she has dark skin. She's not I wouldn't call her a black woman because she doesn't really identify as human. She identifies with her race, with her species, with her altered species. But you would not believe the shitstorm I got when the first time she discovers she can transform into a human-like form.
And not be black?
And she's black. She's got dark skin.
I mean, okay, on some real world shit, I feel like everyone should make an effort to have babies with someone who's not of their ethnicity.
Well, if nothing else.
Because the easiest way to end racism is to end race.
Well, and here's the other thing too. I mentioned earlier that I've been reading some stuff by Dr. King about economic empowerment.
Yes.
You know what the other thing that I personally think would really Here's what I think will end racism once and for all. My personal idea on what might fix it. Give us all an incentive to give a shit. Genetic, economic, it doesn't matter. That is what will make white people en masse embrace the cause of racial equality. Make it in our interest to do so. Because here's the thing: we are the product of an incredibly hostile environment to human existence. I mean, have you been to Northern Europe?
I've been to Ireland.
Yeah, well...
Ireland is fun for beer, but everything else is kind of dreary and sad. And they're mildly racist, and I should sit down.
Well, Irish people only started being considered white people in the last half century.
But then again, Jewish people also have only been considered white people in the last half century.
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes anti-Semitism, the strong streak of anti-Semitism in the black community, especially funny to me.
Oh my god, one of my favorite rappers said some anti-Semitic shit, and I was just like, you know what? Jewish people aren't that different from black people. And it's like, at one point,
they're not.
Like, and it's like, I love a Jew. I love a Jewish girl, and I love some of my Jewish homies, because they got me hip to whiskey. Like, okay, no one knows more shit about fucking vodka than a Russian Jew, but when it comes to good whiskey, you need to fuck with some Jews from the Ukraine if you want to learn about good whiskey.
Well, because there's the thing. The Jews, up until fairly recently, were the white people that the WASPs. I didn't want to say we because that includes me, which, while it's true that all of us are us, some of us are less us than others.
True. In an awkward way.
You know, to quote Greg fucking Stafford, the guy who wrote RuneQuest of all things, we are all us. It's it. We're humans. We're all humans. And the sooner that the fuckers who think those other people aren't quite human fucking die the fuck off, the better for all of us. And I'm just sitting here thinking, and you know, that's the thing, is that that friend of mine I told you about, who told me that that if I had any ounce of self-preservation in me, I'd join the alt-right. I'm just sitting here thinking, man, that's kind of fucking sad.
If you had any sense of self-preservation, you would get a black girl impregnated. But you're gay, so that's
that ain't happening.
That ain't happening. Because honestly, if you want some real preservation, the best way to show that you're a sympathetic, with the cause white person is to have a half-black baby.
Not any black girls? Fun fact, actually, I know there's a couple of Somali girls crushing on me is the thing. And because of the way because they still very much adhere to Somali culture, it actually wouldn't be all that hard. It actually would not be all that hard to convince their families that I wanted to marry them.
I mean, you know what? This is what I will say as a person that's dated a Somali girl. Culturally, they're not that different from most, like, Orthodox religious groups. Like,
well, the thing
just respect that they don't eat pork.
Which
just
is
respect
fine,
that they're cultural shit.
Well, and here's the thing: I don't eat much pork either. Like, give me the choice between a beef hot dog and a pork and a Orthodox pork hot dog.
Beef all day.
Beef all day. I don't really like pig all that much.
Pork is disgusting in most of its incarnations. The only good incarnations of pork are Skittles, marshmallows, and pepperoni pizza. Which
is funny because this girl I know, despite being apparently a devout Muslim, insists that she loves those things.
Those are the only good things that come from pork. Marshmallow, Skittle, Jello, and pepperoni pizza.
The other big impediment to it, besides the fact that I don't particularly want to marry her, is that she's 17. And her culture may not have a problem with me, marrying her and impregnating her. Mine certainly fucking does.
Just wait till she's 18.
I'd rather wait till she's a few years older, thanks.
I mean, my rule is 22 and up.
Right.
Because, I mean, I'm really awkward with age. And the whole thing with, I won't say his name, but dating a woman who's twice his age bothers me. And it doesn't matter that it's a male or a female. It was like, if it was the reverse, it was a guy who was dating a 20-year-old girl, it would still bother me. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna say his name on this particular episode of the podcast, but it bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me, but age is a big issue.
Well, because here's the thing, right? At 30, I'm basically 30. There's some contention on that point, but it doesn't fucking matter.
I mean, you're close enough to the threshold. Your birthday's what, like 4 months away?
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're not real sure when I was born. Won't go into more on that at the moment.
You sound like an immigrant.
But there is some question as to when I was actually born. Point is, I'm basically 30. At 30, I have so much perspective on shit that I didn't have when I was 20, that me dating a 20-year-old would basically be me exploiting them.
See, the thing is, I can't date a 20-year-old because...
Well, I mean, there's the fact
we don't have shit in common.
Well, there's that too, but... the fact is that I just have so much more cognitive development over them.
Yes.
I am so much more intelligent now than I was at 20. And more to the point, I just have seen so many more people and so much more shit of the human condition that it's like, okay, there is no fucking point. Like, at this point, it's just literally me exploiting someone who cannot possibly match me.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So my rule is my age plus or minus 5. I will date someone who is 34 and I will date someone who is 25.
I don't know. As a person, like, I'm 27 now. Like, but I did fuck a 22-year-old quite recently, and as far as, well, with girls, like, they mature faster than their male counterparts. And fucking a 22-year-old was kind of like fucking a 26-year-old. Like, as far as her comprehension and understanding and her maturity of the world.
The other thing with me is that that's ultimately what it comes down to. And it's one of the reasons why I won't date a Somali girl, because she has no conception. Like, she barely shows up to work. And I'm just like, okay, seriously, we would have nothing... Like, you literally do not understand this is what is necessary for you to survive.
I think you should not fuck with Somali girls who you work with. And first of all, I think you're pretty confirmed, solid with your identity, so maybe you should find a Somali boy.
Yeah, they're even worse. They're way more insecure about their homosexuality.
I don't know.
At least this girl knows that it's okay for her to be attracted to guys. Even if she, for some reason, picks rather debbishy, loserish white guys. Well, the other thing, too, is, like, she told me a bit about Somali culture. So as far as Somali culture is concerned, apparently, if she and I had kids, right? The kids get everything from their father. In terms of identity and position in society. Here's the problem.
They'd be white.
From Somali culture's point of view, yes. And while I am perfectly okay with that personally, American culture will not treat them as white because I guarantee you they will not look white.
No, they will not.
And that's the other reason why that's the other reason why it's like, okay, seriously, this would be me exploiting you. Because they won't get that from me. I wish they could. You know, but then again, here's the thing. The question was recently posed to me. If I could make everyone white, would I? Like, imagine that. Like, imagine that for a second there, dude, Mizu. You wake up tomorrow as a white man. And let's say you found out somehow that this was my doing. How dead would I be by sunset?
How dead would you be if I woke up in the morning and I was white?
I get the feeling if I was alive by sunset, it's only so you could take even longer killing me.
If I woke up in the morning and I was white, on some real shit, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm doing so much illegal shit.
Well, that's my point, is that, again, you find out that I'm responsible for it.
If I find out you're responsible,
that it was my choice that made you
white Teejay might just suck a dick, honestly. Oh my god, if I woke up and I was white, do you not know how much, like, I would lose my fucking mind with privilege. I would lose my fucking mind. It's like, holy shit, I'm white. I might just do some crazy shit just because I can do some crazy shit.
Well, remember, so is everyone else.
Yes, that's just it. If 100,000 niggas in the United States woke up and they were white tomorrow, the National Guard would be called in because niggas would be rioting, niggas would be raping, robbing, pillaging, niggas would go crazy. Niggas would lose their fucking mind. They've been black their whole life and now they white? Are you fucking kidding me? No, we gonna do every fucking thing we ain't supposed to do. We might just I'd walk up and punch a cop.
Okay, to be fair, that probably wouldn't turn out much better for me because I'm poor.
No, I'd walk up and grab his fucking gun. If I woke up tomorrow and I was white...
Like I said, that probably...
They're not shooting white people left and right.
I get that. But here's the thing, you know why they're not?
They're not shooting white people left and right. If I woke up and I was white, I lose my fucking mind. Like, I'd walk up and just start...
Now I kind of regret saying no.
Like,
think of all the admittedly formerly black men I might have had sex with.
Shit. And, oh my god, niggas will lose their minds collectively. From Atlanta to New York, niggas will lose their mind if they woke up and they was white.
But see, here's the thing. Now I really regret saying no.
I'm just saying, it's like, as recently as 4 years ago, I have been stopped by the police and been told I fit the description of a suspect of a robbery on my way to work at GameStop in Uptown.
Fun fact, Satin, Washington, right? I live in rural Washington. We got robbed by a black dude wearing a hoodie. They stopped one of my coworkers while I was in the car with him on the way home, saying he met the description. You know why he didn't end up in jail that day? Not prison necessarily. I mean, I would have gone on the stand. But because I stood up and said, "Yeah, officers, he was with me all morning. He was one of the people who got robbed too."
Yeah, no. It's like, it's fucked up in this country because police, as far as the black community is concerned, we see the police as enemies, as outsiders, and they really should be a part of the community. They should be a part of the solution.
Well, but here's the thing.
A part of the discussion.
Here's the thing. Do you know what ethnic group overwhelmingly... By the way, pull your pants... Seriously, dude, pull your pants up because I'm going to get really distracted here in a second. kind of need that blood for my brain. Like, I'm not complaining precisely, but, you know...
Put my pants up. I understand.
I only have so much blood to go around.
Alright, continue what you were saying.
And, like, I'm not telling the story as virtue signaling or some shit like that. Seriously, what even is that? I'm signaling that I'm a good person by being a good person? Like, I didn't do it because my coworker was black. I did it because he was with me all morning.
No, it's just like...
But here's the thing, is that there's this perception, right? That if I'm doing a good thing as a white guy, right? It's because I'm trying to show that I'm a good person. When the fact is that if this guy had been white and he met the description and they'd stopped him, I would have done the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, no. Honestly... I'm gonna give you some homework after this, or some shit to listen to and watch. One of the fucking most important documentaries I feel like you personally should watch to understand police racism in this country is Bloods and Crips Made in America. Because we get these horrible street gangs and this violent... This shit all comes from, like, systemic racism. And it's like, not you personally, but white people have created their own worst enemy and their own worst problem by being racist, by hating, by just being prejudiced for no fucking reason.
There's a reason. It's a bad one, but it's there. Do you really want me to tell you what it is?
I understand inept white people interfere.
Oh, it's not even that necessarily. It's not unique to white people. It's the same force that creates these horrible street gangs. And I was raised by, and it's basically fear of the other. We, all humans, fear the other.
The unknown, what we don't truly understand.
Not even that. There's lots of things we don't understand. We didn't understand back in the days when we all, you know, huddled around the fire for warmth and safety at night. Back when fire was a new thing. We fear the other who is us. We fear the other who looks human, sounds human, acts human, and isn't human.
I mean, you're not wrong, and you're 100% right at this point.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I had the good fortune to be raised by a xenophile. Someone who sees the other and thinks, you know what? I bet they're just like me. My mother. She sees the other, and her response is, "Ooh, I wonder what stories they can tell. I wonder what truths they can reveal."
Which, thank you,
and
to her, because she's gave you a nice, wide, open perspective and point of view of the world.
But it's genetic, is the thing. Like, when I was still being raised by the Mormons, right? You know who one of my best friends was?
No.
George Harrison.
Who was black? It's like a name like George Harrison. That sounds like a nigga.
No, he was. But here's the thing. My response to him, unlike most of my elementary school classmates, was not fear. My response was, "Oh my God, he's not the same as the others. I'd better find out what his deal is. I'd better find out what makes him him. I'd better find out what you know, he's not like me." Remember, this is a little kid.
Yeah, which is cool, which...
You know, I am operating on base state humanity here.
Which Which is funny, which is like me as a person, as a little fucking kid in preschool and kindergarten, was just like, hey, this person is cool. This person interests me. I like this person. Race has never been a factor because,
right,
you know who I am.
Right.
I can understand how.
But the thing is that, again, remember, I was also getting from another angle, the other is to be feared. The other is to be controlled. The other is to be despised.
The other is to be
wrong.
dominated.
Right. But here's the thing. I never really felt any urge to dominate. I never really felt any urge to control. Yes, he is not like me. Yes, he is different than I am. I had better find out what his deal is. And you know what I found?
No difference.
Well, there was
few.
There was a cultural difference, but it was smaller than you'd think. This is the other. And it turns out the other is just like me.
Yeah, no. 90% of the time, the other is a mere reflection. The other is harmless. The other is nothing to be afraid of, but for years and years there's been this like indoctrinated racism and hatred for no reason other than this is what we've been taught for years.
Right. This is what the elders have told us. That the other is to be feared, that the other is to be avoided, that the other wants to hurt us and change us and make us other than we are. And that's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. The other, by and large, wants to be either us, wants to be either like unto us, or at the very worst, wants to be treated like us. They want to be, if not part of us, then at least treated like they were part of us. Fun fact, I didn't actually know Deshaun was black until I moved here. And here's the other funny part. It made absolutely no difference in how I treated him. Like, there were a couple times when Andrew had to miss sessions of the role-playing game because Deshaun was having shit going on and Andrew wanted to be there for him, being his best friend. Finding out he's black changed nothing.
Other than you wanted to suck his dick.
No, that was...
I joke. I kid. If I offend, I'm sorry. Please forgive. I am trying to puppet dog. I am a mere puppet. I'm a little drunk right now.
Dude. I suck white dicks, too.
I mean, you suck all dick if it's, like, consenting.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, if I whipped out my dick and was like, you want to suck this? I'm 90% sure you suck my dick. If I whipped it out right now.
I'd raise that to 100.
See? Like, I'm only 90% sure. You're 100% sure you suck my dick. Like, like, I might get my dick sucked tonight. But that's not my goal and intent. But it could happen.
To be fair, it's not my goal or intent either. But if it happens, it happens.
It happens.
I am certainly not going to complain.
Right. Whatever. Hip-hop is gay as fuck right now. And niggas just don't want to admit it.
Now?
I mean, hip-hop has been gay as fuck forever, and niggas just don't want to admit it. It's like, you got niggas kissing niggas and niggas sucking dick for like the past 25 years, but no one wants to admit this shit except for 35. Frank Ocean.
35. It was gay from the beginning.
I mean, hip-hop has always been gay. Like, it's influenced by, like, disco and dance culture and prison culture. all those things
all
are
of which
gay.
involve copious amounts of men sucking dick.
It's like, as a person who used to do ecstasy and go to hip hop shows as well as raves, it's like sometimes you want to suck on something. Now, I never sucked on a dick while I was on ecstasy, but I know some dudes who may have.
To be perfectly fair, I suck dick when I'm not on ecstasy too.
I mean, you suck dick whenever dick's in front of you.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not offended by you sucking dick.
I was going to say there was a reason I asked you to pull your pants up.
Yeah, no. Like, my pants are, like, falling down right now, and you might suck my dick, which is okay, because that's your thing, and I probably shouldn't have my pants down if I don't want my dick sucked.
To be fair, though, however, I would like to interject at this point that I am, in fact, a fan of explicit consent. Part of this is because I fall on the autism spectrum. I don't read unspoken cues very well, and as a result, I have learned to be extremely careful about how I interpret cues. Because the fact is that, I don't get, like, at this point, being able to read other people's emotions from their faces might as well be a goddamn X-Man superpower to me. Because I don't get it. I've studied it as an academic phenomenon, but that's mostly just brought me up to the level of... That's mostly just me trying to get up to the level of human normal. Like, how other people can read someone's face. I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my god, how the fuck do you do that? Because I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my god, admittedly, saying I would suck dick for that is kind of beside the point. I mean, convincing me to suck a dick is kind of like just saying, does the dick exist? Yes. Does the owner consent? Yes. Okay, great. Let's suck some dick.
There's no Schrodinger's dick.
Not with me, no.
There's no Schrodinger's dick. Oh, Schrodinger's cat. I kind of want to watch Stargate. SG-1. What? You don't like a Schrodinger's cat joke?
No, it's fine. It's just not what. It's just one I've heard a lot.
I mean, yeah. I like the thought of Schrodinger's dick, though. But, mostly because my dick is present, the Schrodinger's dick.
The dick that is both unsucked and unsucked at the same time. And until you look down, you don't know which it is.
Oh, shit. I might have to come up with a new name for my dick.
Schrodinger's dick?
Yeah.
That's seriously your name for your dick?
No, but it was secret, but it might be Schrodinger.
Come on, Pen15. That is not a beetle!
Okay, so this conversation is starting to devolve
into dicks.
So, I'm gonna say to y'all, like, comment, subscribe, share. This has been Mizu.
And Cello.
Till next time, thanks.